New tonight, Ktab News has learned the identities of the couple murdered in Breckenridge, as well as the identity of the suspect charged with their murder, and how the Red Cross can help keep you and your family safe through the cold winter months. Plus, two Texas families each get a Texas-sized Christmas present. We will show you more details there. That's a look at your top headlines tonight. Ktab News Weekend starts in 60 seconds with Forecast First.
Now, from your weather authority. Now, from your weather authority, your Ktab Forecast First.
And good evening, everyone. If you've been outside, you've probably seen a lot of cloud cover and very little stars. You'll notice by tomorrow morning in our first forecast, 37 degrees is what we're looking for at 7 o'clock in the morning. By noontime, we should hit 48 degrees. You'll be able to shed that jacket. And then by 5 o'clock in the afternoon, we will get to 62 degrees. I'll have a complete look at the forecast coming up in a bit, but Ktab News Weekend starts now.
With coverage you can count on, this is Ktab News Weekend.
Good evening, I'm Nathan Grieve. We've learned today the identity of the two people who were murdered in Breckenridge late in the week. Now, we've also learned the identity of the suspect who is charged in that crime. But first, let's go back over the facts as we know them tonight. Now, this happened Friday afternoon. Police responding to a call of a possible dead subject in the 600 block of North Front Street there in Breckenridge. Now, officers found not one but two people dead in a house in East Breckenridge. The suspect was found within the hour by a Stevens County deputy sheriff, but before he was caught, that suspect was considered armed and dangerous. Now, he was observed by that deputy until additional officers and deputies arrived to back him up. That investigation has been handed over to the Texas Rangers. And now we do know the identities of that couple found dead, 58-year-old Mitchell Sullivan, 58-year-old Terry Sullivan. Now, the suspect is their son, Paxton. Shortly after officers arrived on scene, Paxton was identified as a suspect, and again, he was found in around an hour's time. Funeral services for the Paxtons will be held on Tuesday at 2 p.m. at First Baptist Church in Breckenridge. And we will continue to provide updates on this investigation as it progresses both on air and online at bigcountryhomepage.com. Well, the West Texas family still searching for answers, and they're now increasing the reward for information regarding the murder of 20-year-old Jeannie Quinn. That's the woman whose body was found in Abilene 7 months after she went missing from Levelland. Now, you first learned about that discovery here on Ktab when Quinn's body was found in a vacant lot in West Abilene. She disappeared back in April. Now her family offering more than $11,000 for any information that could help solve her murder. For right now, APD is leading that investigation. Levelland PD is assisting. And if you have any information, you're going to want to contact the Abilene Police Department. And that number on your screen there is 325-676-6598. That is the number for the anonymous tip line. Well, for two Amarillo families, Christmas came early this year. Two moms in need there in Amarillo given some huge gifts this year.
Chauncey's Automotive held their annual Miracle on 34th Street giveaway. Two families who happened to be having a hard time this year were selected to win some pretty big gifts.
It's just such a blessing. It's going to carry everything that she needs, and it's just such a blessing.
April Newsom has a 4-year-old daughter with special needs. She's had multiple surgeries, has to have a trach in her throat, along with other equipment for her daily use. Recently, April found herself stuck with no car, and no car means no way to get her daughter Aria to the doctor.
She goes to the doctor a lot in Amarillo, and Everything's far away. She has a lot of doctors. We're back and forth to Dallas and Lubbock a lot.
I can't even put into words how thankful I am for this. Me and my daughter have struggled the last 4 years, and this is really a step up for us. So this is, I don't even have the words.
Tears of joy continued as the second family's gift was revealed. Jordan Charlene, a mother of 3, was struggling after her van broke down. She was also behind on payments and didn't know what she would do. But Chauncey did.
It's huge. Yeah, I'll be able to get caught up on payments and not struggle. The tree's pretty empty this year, so I can give them the Christmas they're used to.
You should always give back, especially in this time of year. I mean, people are always struggling, having a hard time. You need to give back.
Well, not only did Chauncey's provide some Christmas cheer after everyone saw their gifts, they got to go inside for a nice Christmas feast. Well, we've been showing you the setup for this throughout the week for this weekend when wreaths across America came to town. More than 1,000 people at the Texas State Veterans Cemetery. That was yesterday morning on Saturday to honor the men and women buried there with wreaths on each and every single grave. Congressman Jody Arrington, the main speaker at that event, and Dyess Air Force Base also taking a big role throughout the ceremony. And look at that fly over there at the Missing Man Formation to honor all those veterans. Well, this time of the year, folks are a bit more likely than not to run heaters, which could make house fires a real threat. The American Red Cross is able to help out, making sure that no matter what, you're able to get access to a smoke detector. They'll fully install detectors throughout your house, and for those with hearing troubles, they'll actually install a special bed shaking alarm. And even if you've already got alarms, they're still there to make sure that those alarms are working and you're fully protected no matter what the season. And looking now to the rest of the big country, we remember the couple killed in a crash in southern Taylor County. That was Thursday when Tuscola Mayor Robert Elkins and his wife Vondine Rose Elkin. Investigators say wet roads there played a role in that deadly crash on Highway 83 just a little north of Tuscola. Again, that's Thursday afternoon just before 1 o'clock. The Texas Department of Public Safety reports a vehicle hydroplaned on that wet pavement, and then it crashed into a vehicle head-on, and that vehicle was 82-year-old Tuscola Mayor Robert Elkins and his wife. They were in that car. They did die. Elkins and his wife remembered as community leaders who called Tuscola home for more than 50 years. Robert Elkins served on the city council before becoming mayor, and his wife Vondine worked at a bank in town for many years. Now, we spoke with Sam Stanland, Mayor Pro Tem and Assistant Fire Chief, and he describes his close relationship with the Elkins who devoted their lives to the town of Tuscola and the people in it.
He was always there for anybody who needed anything, and he always gave his time and efforts in multiple ways, and had a great vision for this community.
Elkins also worked for the Texas Department of Transportation for decades. Some of those projects he worked on would be the Waldrop Overpass on Antley Road to connect other communities up with the city of Abilene. Well, holidays are supposed to be a time of joy and celebration, but for some people they are just anything but. Experts say increased anxiety, stress, depression are all some realities of the season. Here's a look at what you can do to stay in the healthy holiday spirit.
We were just browsing and just checking some gifts.
Together and shopping at Hilldale Mall on a Friday afternoon, Victor and Pam Santos have a lot to be happy about.
Yes, we love it.
And the holidays only seem to add to that joy.
We join together as a family and we spend time together and also chill out a little bit.
But for some, this season brings in more negative feelings than positive.
It is, I mean, in general, even people who don't struggle with mental health or substance use disorder, they have an increase sometimes in stress and even loneliness. So then tag along with an individual who's struggling with depression or anxiety, that will increase it sometimes during the holidays.
Simon Shuan of Journey Mental Health says the holidays are tough, especially for those dealing with grief over the loss of a loved one. But the triggers come from all sorts of sources.
There's individuals who might not have family, and then the loneliness. And then there's a lot of stressors. Sometimes it could be financial. How am I going to afford getting my child presence.
Avoid social settings that make you feel uncomfortable. Get sunlight and fresh air. Create a budget to stave off financial stress. Set reasonable expectations when it comes to entertaining, and be by the ones you love.
Surround yourself with positive people and friends and family, because we forget that we have a right to feel happy during a season that's supposed to be happy.
And no surprise here, experts say during this celebratory time we also tend to overconsume alcohol, which can make those bad feelings just a little bit worse. So before you head out to a party this year, be sure to consider setting a limit on the number of drinks that you have. Well, coming up on Ktab News Weekend, a World War II veteran who's done just about everything, but he's had one big item that he's been waiting to check off his bucket list. And now this seems like something that would only happen way up north. A truck gets stuck on ice. Takes a little more horsepower there to get it unstuck. But before we get to that, Clemente, snow, ice, we're not expecting it, I assume, right?
No, I tell you what, it felt pretty miserable out there today if you were just look at it from the window. But actually it was pretty warm, mild to report. Look at the conditions for today in our almanac. 63 for a high, overnight low of 44 degrees. We had no rainfall across the region. There you see sunrise and sunset. Coming back after the break, we're going to tell you about that 7-day forecast. That does include a lot of mild conditions. Stay tuned.
With coverage you can count on, this is Ktab News Weekend.
On top of a hill in the outskirts of Mabel, Minnesota.
Now, from your weather authority, your Now, from your weather authority, your Ktab forecast first.
And welcome back, everyone. As we look at the great state of Texas here, we'll notice a lot of cloud cover. This is part of the reason why we had temperatures at bay for most of the day. But all in all, was a pretty mild day across the region. We do notice a little bit of precipitation moving in off to our west, way out here in the El Paso area. I would advise, though, that a lot of that probably is not reaching the ground. It seems to be in the upper levels of the atmosphere. Moving forward now, we're looking at Max Live radar showing us earlier this evening we had a few little showers off to our southwest, and a lot of that probably is not touching the ground as well because it actually is pretty dry out there. And in fact, it's upper level moisture. So as we look at the currents right now, we've got 46 degrees here in the city of Abilene. 38 is our dew point. Relative humidity is at 73%. Winds are from the southeast at 3, and barometric pressure is at 30.28 and steady. Moving forward in time, we'll look at our temperatures right now across the region. Some of those sites there are reporting a little bit late. There we see them keying in. 46 degrees over here in Breckenridge, and then over here in Sweetwater still, you haven't gotten below that 50 So very nice conditions all in all across the big country and across the region. Future temperatures look like this. Here's what we anticipate throughout the night. It will cool off, but not too much. We'll notice here in Abilene 46 degrees is what we're looking for. Then down here toward Brownwood Goldthwaite around 6:30 in the morning, we're looking at about 43 to 41 degrees. So all in all, temperatures are going to be pretty mild considering this time of year. By 4 p.m. tomorrow, we'll notice temperatures will warm up to the mid-50s down here in the Brownwood, Texas region, and then the upper 40s over here up towards Snyder and toward the Jayton area. Now moving on in time, we're going to look at our forecast for this evening in Abilene. Pleasant and cool is what we're calling for. An overnight low of 39 degrees. Winds will be from the northwest at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Again tomorrow, very little wind to speak of. Mild temperatures all in all. 62 degrees is what we're looking at. Those winds will remain fairly calm across the region. For you folks in Brownwood and central Texas, 38 degrees is what we're looking at. Winds will be very light as well, 5 to 10 miles per hour. And then looking at plenty of sunshine for tomorrow, 63 degrees. There you see your 7-day forecast. Weekend in view. We have that 20% chance of showers on Tuesday. Temperatures all in all in the 60s. And you really can't complain too much, Nate, because you've got overnight lows. They're 39 degrees by tomorrow morning, but then it actually moderates throughout the period. So about 40s and then 37 there on Thursday. So very nice conditions.
Yeah, some pretty mild temps out there. And, you know, even with that 20% chance of staying warm enough, we're not going to see snow. We're not going to see ice. We're not going to see this situation. If your car gets stuck on an icy driveway, we're not going to have that happen. But if it does, who are you going to call? Say a tow truck?
I don't know. How about I call my mom.
Well, in Minnesota, they didn't do either of those. They actually called up the owner of 2 horses. Those were the right answer. The video of that feat has gone absolutely viral.
On top of a hill in the outskirts of Mabel, Minnesota, Belgian horses Molly and Prince kick up flurries of snow.
That's the real horsepower.
As their owner Jacob Hirschberger takes them out for a sleigh ride.
That's where a lot of their power comes, is the front legs.
He bought the pair of 13-year-olds 6 months ago. A typical workday for them consists of hauling logs or pulling sleighs, but it's what these two accomplished more than a week ago that truly amazed Jacob.
Truck driver called me and said he was stuck in the driveway. So driving home from Maple, I'm thinking to myself, I don't know how I'm going to get him out of there because my tractor, I figure it wouldn't be doing much in this ice.
That's when he thought of Molly and Prince, seeing them as his only option to get this big rig up the icy hill.
And the truck driver was questioning me the whole time I was harnessing them up. He said, I don't see this working, but I said, what are we out of? We're going to give it a try.
After a couple heaves, the horses make their way uphill, with the truck driver hitting the accelerator to give them an extra push.
I couldn't believe it.
Once they reached the apex, the tractor gave an additional boost from behind, stunning everyone, including the skeptical truck driver.
He was lost for words, and he's like, I cannot believe that team of horses pulled my truck up that hill.
As of Thursday, nearly 1 million people have seen Molly and Prince's stunning feat, with thousands of shares and hundreds of comments. But those are just numbers to Jacob.
Somebody asked me the other day how much I want for this team, and I said there's no dollar sign on them. Yeah, I'm pretty proud of them.
Well, despite the extreme strength needed for that feat, neither horse was injured. Belgians are used to being part to that task and are considered working horses.
And that is awesome video.
Well, when Ktab News at 10 continues, a Good Samaritan puts out a fire, and that's our good news tonight.
And the Dallas Cowboys went into Sunday looking for an NFC East title. A loss from the Redskins would do it, and Dusty has the highlights coming up in sports.
Mic check, 1, 2, 3. Mic check, 1, 2, 3.
Robert and Mary Krowski making ornaments in their art studio in
Ktab News Weekend continues.
Welcome back. When a fire broke out at a couple's art studio and home, a Good Samaritan came to their rescue, and that is our good news tonight.
Robert and Mary Krowski making ornaments in their art studio and home a couple weeks ago when their phone rang.
It was one of the nurses at the nursing home.
Calling about Mary's 99-year-old mother.
And she said, look, if you want to see your mother again before she dies, you should come right now because she's dying.
With the clock ticking, the couple rushed out of the studio. But being distracted by the news, Robert left a hot plate tool on, lighting their work table and everything on it on fire. That's when a man sitting inside of this bar looked outside of this window and saw the flames growing from just down the street. That customer jumped out of his seat and ran over to Krowski's art glass studio. He put out the fire with an extinguisher. Later, when Robert and Mary got home from saying their final goodbyes, they saw the smoke coming out of their front door.
12 or 15 people running in and out of the front doors, which we had locked. All these people running around looking frantic.
And their humble hero was more worried about breaking their door to stop the flames.
The first thing he said to me, he apologized for wrecking my door.
There was no major damage inside, but now for this couple of more than 50 years.
I'm going to have something to yell about for the rest of our married life, which I've started already occasionally. I say, yeah, well, you burned our house down just about.
Fire crews later told them the thousands of dollars worth of art, all of their glass pieces and belongings could have been destroyed.
Another 15 minutes and our house would have gone up and the dogs would have been dead. You know, our whole lives would have been gone, you know, if it wasn't for this guy.
From a stranger to their savior.
So he's a hero in my book, yeah, big time.
Now, because that fire was put out so quickly, only their work table burned up. Now, there was smoke and debris all over, but the Krowskis got some help from the community to clean all that up. They've since thanked that man. They're working on giving him some artwork as an extra bonus there. Well, this was years in the making for World War II veteran. That's Walt Rabel, and he was presented with an honorary degree from Concordia University on Saturday. That 90-year-old was forced to drop out of college twice, once so he could serve in World War II, and again after his father passed away. Now, he was greeted to a standing ovation after accepting his diploma, and he said, his words, not mine, he's an old man with a big bucket list. Well, that's one more thing that he can check off there. And time for sports. Let's check that off for the night. Dusty in the BCH Sports Center. Dusty, Cowboys win into today, a win away from the NFC East title. How'd their mission go?
Well, Nate, I'll do a little backtrack here. The Dallas Cowboys pulled off something that they had not done since the year 2003 today in their mission for the East title, and I'll tell you what exactly happened. I'll just put it this way, it was not a positive. They wanted to check off their list this year. I'll explain next in sports.
Continues. This is BigCountryHomepage.com Sports with Dusty Baker. This is BigCountryHomepage.com Sports with Dusty Baker.
Well, we have approached a crucial Week 15 in the NFL, and with a win today for the Dallas Cowboys in Indianapolis or a loss from the Redskins, that would secure the NFC East championship for the Cowboys. But first step was getting points on the board against the Colts team that has been on fire of late. First quarter, Cowboys looking to get on the board early, but a 48-yard field goal is blocked, and this could foreshadow future events in this game. Dak is shocked here early on. The Colts looking to capitalize on the ensuing drive. Marlon Mack takes the dive up the gut for the 1-yard score. Colts lead 7-0. Second quarter now, Cowboys driving 4th and 1 on the 3-yard line. Zeke is stuffed, and he fumbles the ball in addition to that, but before that, Colts are already celebrating. That's another stop for the Cowboys. Moving on here, Marlon Mack again takes it up the gut third quarter to put them ahead 17-0. Start of the fourth, 20-0 Colts. And another 4th and 1. Prescott's pass is incomplete. And this was the story all day long for the Cowboys. They really struggled in this one, and they fall in defeat and lay a goose egg in the process, falling 23-0. This is the first time since 2003 the Cowboys were shut out in a game. Dallas has their work cut out for them with 2 weeks remaining in the season. They take on Tampa Bay in Arlington next week. As for the Cowboys clinching the NFC East, well, there was still a chance if new starter Josh Johnson could possibly fall to the Jags. Second quarter, 3-3 game. D.D. Westbrook on the punt return. He gets a little bit of a block over here, takes it down the sideline. All of a sudden, there is a crease. He makes one final cut in his way to the end zone, and the Jags quickly take a 10-3 lead. They take that into the half. Fourth quarter, 13-6 Jags, but Josh Johnson airs it to Jeremy Sprinkle, and that is a touchdown, and that would tie it up at 13. Less than a minute left. Cody Kessler drops back, and he will air this one out into the tipped hands and the waiting hands of Moreau. That would set up a drive to the final 4 seconds left in the game. Dustin Hopkins drills the 36-yard field goal. The Redskins win it 16-13. That forces the Cowboys to wait yet another week for a chance to clinch the division. On to the game of the day in Pittsburgh between the Steelers and Patriots. We start in the first quarter with Big Ben facing off against Tom Brady, and Ben drops back, and he will find Vance McDonald to his left in the end zone for the 5-yard strike. 7-0 Steelers. Later in the quarter, it's Brady with the play action, and he will find a wide open Chris Hogan. Had been underperforming most of this season, but makes a big play here, 63-yard touchdown. It's tied at 7. Second quarter now, Big Ben driving once again, finds his favorite target. That's Antonio Brown in the end zone. Spectacular catch and puts the Steelers up 14-7. Fourth quarter, it's 14-10, and Tom Brady is under serious pressure here. He has nobody open, and doing something he normally doesn't do, throw it into coverage, and that is picked off. Look at this, maintaining 2 feet in possession. The Steelers have one last chance to stop the Patriots, 17-10. Brady, incomplete pass in the end zone. The Steelers win this one, and Brady goes down. The Patriots fall to 9-5. Patriots have a lot to get together here after losing their second in a row to the Steelers for the first time since 2011. Well, that is all the time we have for sports. Your local news will come up after the break. Plus, Noel with one final look at our forecast straight ahead. Not
Ktab News Weekend continues.
Welcome back, everyone. Let's have a look at our 7-day forecast because that's what a lot of people are concerned about for the coming work week. We have a chance of showers there on Tuesday. 20% chance is what we're looking at. Temperatures all in all will remain in the 60s, overnight lows in the 40s and 30s. Nate, pretty nice.
Yeah, it looks great out there. And that does it for us for tonight. We will see you again tomorrow.